So welcome, grade 7, Livingston Anderson McBean. So today's class is a bit different. Know that this is a different strategy that you have been seeing from me, where I'll be videoing myself teaching you what to do for this lesson. So alright, let's get into it. So now we're going to recap area versus perimeter. Alright, so recapping area versus perimeter. That's what we did last class. So let's just go through it once more. So what is the difference between perimeter and area of a shape? So the perimeter is the sum of all sides length of a shape, all side lengths of a shape, and the area is the amount of two-dimensional space a shape occupies. So for perimeter, sum of all side lengths of a shape, and area, the amount of two-dimensional space a shape occupies. Alright? Very simple. So let's look at an example. So to better understand these two concepts and their differences, we're going to look at the shape here, and as you can see, it is a square and we are given only one side length. Why? Because a square has the same length going around for each side. So this would be 10 feet, here would be 10 feet, here will be 10 feet. So all sides are equal to 10 feet. So now, above is a graph of a square yard. The brown border is a fence, while green square is a grass. Alright? So let's look at the calculation for this. So the perimeter of the square is the length of the fence. The brown border that we see, that would be the perimeter. The area of the square is the amount of grass. So that means that the green part of the square that you were seeing before, that would be the area. So let's calculate both. So the perimeter, 4 sides, and we know that each side is equal to 10 feet. So that means that we're going to multiply 4 times 10, or we could have just simply added all sides. So 10 feet plus 10 feet plus 10 feet plus 10 feet. And you get the same answer, which is 40 feet. And now the area. I know that from your prior knowledge, you would have known that it is length times width. And knowing that all the lengths are 10 feet, we simply multiply 10 times 10, giving you 100 feet squared. So remember from our previous lessons that when we are looking at area, we are talking about square units. Alright? So always remember that. So each time you multiply and find the area, you have to ensure that your calculation has the square on it. Alright? So now, let's get into the lesson. So after we just recap that, we should be refreshed and be able to now move on to the meat of the matter. And for those who are vegetarians, to the vegetable of the matter. Alright? So now, introductory video. Alright, so you won't be hearing the sound from this video. The link is on the description basically. So we're going to learn about area. So now, if you look at this link, it will send you straight to the video so that you can hear what is going on. But for now, I'll be narrating what is happening. Alright, so we have bad boy Johnny. He is at his granny's home. We're going to try to find the space occupied by a shape that is here. Alright, so let's find the area of this rectangle. To find its area, we need to find how many unit squares can fit in this rectangle. Alright, a unit square is a square where each side equals 1 unit. Alright? So look at bad boy Johnny now. He's going to cause mischief. He hit out a lamp. And now Granny is furious. Very furious. So Johnny ran away as quickly as he could. So let's find the area of a rectangle. In this rectangle we can fit 4 rows of 2 squares each. Alright? So what does that say? It says that means 4 times 2 would give you 8 unit squares. So here 4 is a length. Alright? 4 is a length. And thus, when we have 4 as a length, we also have 2 as a breadth. And to find the area, we have to multiply both length and breadth. Please note that breadth means the same thing as width. Alright, class? So here's Johnny again. He's making Granny very furious now. But now we're going to find the area of this square, which is Granny's window. So in this square we can fit 2 rows of 2 squares each. As you can see. Thus area equals 2 times 2 equals 4 unit squares. Alright. So 2 here is the length. And thus the area equals 2 times 2 equal side times side. So Granny has caught Johnny. Alright, so this is the end. I hope you have understand what was happening so far, and that if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Alright, so remember the link is in the description, and also you just need to click on it to have your own view on it. Alright, class, so now let's move on. So now we're going into the lessons video. Alright, so now if you remember from the class, we're looking at area maximum dimensions. Alright, and in order to find the maximum area, we need to know what to do. So here I'll be narrating what is happening in the video so that you can understand how to find maximum area for a given shape. And here we'll be looking at rectangular shapes and also squares, so bear it in mind. Let's get into it. So what is a maximum 4-side rectangular area we can enclose given 100 meters of rope? So as you can see, we have 100 meters of rope. Alright, so what could we do? We know that a rectangle should have a length and also a width. So let's give the width 5 meters. Alright, and remember that each side, which is opposite the width and the width, should have the same value. Alright, so after 5 plus 5 give you 10, we have to divide into, so we have to divide into the 100 meters here. Alright, so after you add the width, you get your 10, and you take it away from the 100, leaving you with 90, and thus dividing the 90 by 2, we get 45. So that means that these two sides, the length would equal the 45 meters. So to find the area, we would then have to multiply the 45 times 5. Alright, and that gives us 225 meters squared. So if you look at the relationship with the width and the area, you will see that if you change the values, you get different areas. So let's see if we can try something else. So let's use 15 meters for the width. Alright, so what would the length be now? So we know that 15 plus 15 equals 30. Taken away from 100 gives you 70. Dividing the 70 by 2 will give you what? 35. So that means that we can simply multiply length by width. So 35 times 15. Alright, remember your units, meters, and when you multiply them, you'll get 525 meters squared. And remember, we are trying to find the maximum. Alright class, trying to find the maximum. So let's see if we could use something else. So increase the width to 25. So 25 plus 25 give you 50, and as you can see, that means that each side will equal to 25 to give you 100 meters. Alright, so that means that this rectangle is now a square. So 25 times 25 gives you 625 meters square. And remember, your unit should always be squared. Alright, so when our width is 25 meters, the area has increased. So let's explore a little bit more. So 15 and 35 gives us 525. So please ignore the bite noises. Alright class, please ignore them. So what is happening is that basically if we change the width to 15, we will get back the same thing that we got for 15 previously. Alright, if we use 35 as a width. Alright class, and if we use 45, you will get back the same area that we have had with the previous 5. Alright, so that means that what is happening is that after you have reached this area, we realize that the maximum area would be the square that we use. So that means that for you to get the maximum enclosed area, you would have to use the amount of rope and create a square. Alright, because after you pass this amount, you realize that we start to regress. So after we reach 625 meters square, we start to go back down to 525, 225, and so on. Alright, so you have to check to see which values give you the largest area. Alright class, to find the maximum. So a square will always maximize area of 4-sided enclosures. Always maximize area of 4-sided enclosures. Alright class, so let's move on. So we have your activity here. After watching the videos, answer the following questions and fill in the table below. Suppose that you had 64 meters of fencing with which to build a pen for your large dog. Questions: what are the dimensions of some different pens that you can make if you use all the fencing? What dimensions are best to allow the most space for a dog to run? What dimensions will allow the most play area? What dimensions allow the least play area? So what you have to do is use this table, and remember what we did in the videos. We multiply width times length. So finding the largest area, answer the questions. Alright,